How define we ourselves? Dear friends, isn't that a good question? Who are you? When the surname law was enacted, people were given surnames opposite to whatever their weaknesses were. For example, if a person was a coward, he was given the surname brave. If he was a miser, he was given the surname generous. Aziz Nesin says that I have no last name left to brag about. They have taken them all. He asks himself, who am I? Then he decides to take the surname Nesin. Aziz Nesin, and I always wondered what I am. Knowing yourself, who are you? Know yourself. Good friends, do you know what was written on the Temple of Elphi 2,500 years ago? Know thyself. What kind of a thing is this that everyone has been saying for years? Who are you? Who am I? Know yourself. Yes, good friends. What is it said? If you know yourself, you know Allah. For example, people want to reach divine love. They want to know Allah. 5 friends set out one day. Their teacher says, if you are in trouble, say my name and pray. Of course, this seems a bit strange to the students. After a while, they face a hardship. 2 of them say the name of their teacher and pray. 3 do not say the name of their teacher, and the prayers of 2 people come true. The prayers of 3 people do not come true. The students ask, why was the prayer answered when I mentioned your name, but not when I asked Allah directly? Their teacher said, you know me, but you don't know Allah. How can you ask for something you don't know? So if we don't know Allah, how can we pray to Him? How can we worship Him? If you want to know Allah, this is the formula, friends. He who knows himself knows his Lord. You want to know Allah, you want to reach Allah. The formula is to know yourself. So how can we know ourselves? How can we make a discovery? One of Nietzsche's friends, Schopenhauer, went to a painting exhibition one day. When one of the officials there sees that Schopenhauer is impressed, he asks, who are you? Schopenhauer says, if you can give me the answer to that, I will be grateful to you for life. Lao Tzu says, he who knows others is knowledgeable. He who knows himself is wise. Good friends, how can we know ourselves? For anything to know itself, it must first separate from itself. How will the eye look at the eye? When we say knowing yourself, you say, I am a teacher, I am a doctor. There are adjectives, there are masks, there are names that are your profession. And then there is the real you, the essence. That was you when you first came to the world. You were with your essence. How can you know yourself? Obviously, the whole life is our mirror. All life is our reflections, our parts. And what we see when we look around us, when we look at the world, its life is based on opposites. So night, day, black, white, plus, minus. If something has no opposite, we cannot recognize it. We write with white chalk on a blackboard. If we write with black chalk on a blackboard, we cannot recognize it. We are all created different from each other. Different races, different colors, different cultures, just so that we can know each other more clearly. So if all people were the same color, if all people were of the same culture, if people around us were good, generous, if people around me were rich, if people around me were knowledgeable, if people around me were moral, isn't that what we would want? For example, imagine that everyone around you is richer than you, everyone is smarter than you, more beautiful than you, more healthy than you, more generous than you. Could you live? You can't. Can you? Am I the worst? Am I the most stingy? One cannot live. So there is a balance. Some people are better than us. Some are worse than us. They are richer than us. And between those differences, we will see ourselves in them. If there's no contrast, there is no awareness. Without beauty, we wouldn't know ugliness. Without ugliness, we wouldn't know beauty. Without sickness, we wouldn't know health. If something has no opposite, you know we can't see it, we can't realize it. Why can't we see Allah? Because there is no opposite. Everyone around us, beautiful friends, are reflections of us, parts of us. And you are wondering about yourself. Who am I? The answers you give to the question, who am I, are always answers that come from your mind. The answers that come from your thoughts. So they are answers you have learned from outside. Who am I? Who are you? Can you find out who you are? So let's say if you are you now, who was you 10 years ago? The you of 10 years ago is not the same as the you of now. None of your cells are the same. Your tastes are not the same. Your appearance is not the same. Your emotions, feelings, thoughts are not the same. How many things are changing? Who are you? How can you answer, who are you? Who are you? How can a mirror, beautiful friends, see itself? For a mirror to see itself, you have to put a mirror in front of it. And you are a mirror. You are a mirror. And the important thing is, can you show the things you reflect very clearly? One day Abu Jahl comes, good friends. He says to the Prophet, what an ugly man you are. Prophet Muhammad says, you are telling the truth. After a while, Abu Bakr comes. He says, Rasulallah, you are a very beautiful person. Prophet Muhammad says again that you are telling the truth. The companions who witnessed these two situations ask, how can this be true? You told both of them that you are telling the truth. Prophet Muhammad says, I am a mirror. Everyone is talking about himself. Nobody can see anything other than themselves. When we look at life, the only obstacle is us. Because we see ourselves outside, we can see those who are on the same frequency with us, what we can know. Even if we see what we don't know, we don't understand. We can only understand what we know. And everything we see outside is our reflection. You are a mirror to others. And how will you know who you are? How will the eye see itself? Only by looking outside, there is a mirror reflecting you. Only by looking outside can you see who you are. Sometimes you look at a very beautiful view, and someone tells you that life is your reflection. If life is my reflection, how beautiful I am. Do you know yourself? When I ask who I am, the answers that come from your mind, from your thoughts, are not the right answers. When I ask who am I, my being gives the answer. When we keep asking who am I, when you ask who am I, you may not find out who you are, but you can find out who you are not. You are nothing that you realize. You are nothing that you feel, because you are the one who notices. You see colors because you are colorless. You hear sounds because you are silent. You see the east, you are not in the east. You see the west, you are not in the west. You see the sky, you are not in the sky. You cannot be anything that you see, that you realize, because you are the realizer. If you cannot be anything that you realize, if you realize something when you are asked who you are, know that it is not you, because you are the realizer. Not the realized, you are the realizer. Knowledge is knowing yourself. Everyone is searching for the answer to this question. Who are you for thousands of years? My good friend, I want to ask you too. Who are you? Who do you really feel yourself to be? Who are you? That's the question I'm looking for the answer to. Who are you? Not the answer that comes from the mind. Let your being answer. And whatever you feel, I would appreciate it if you write it in the comments. My beautiful friend, a story of Halil Gibran came to my mind. One day, Halil Gibran goes to the scarecrow. You know the scarecrow, they put straw on his head in the middle of the field. I said to the scarecrow, is it worth staying under the sun in the heat of this summer just to scare the birds? Sometimes it's winter in freezing weather. Is it worth being cold in that icy weather? Is it worth the ordeal? You go through all this suffering just to scare the birds. The scarecrow replied, you don't know how much fun it is to scare birds. Only those with a head full of straw know that. The scarer's head is full of straw. It is useless. Who am I? Who are you? Maybe we are on a journey of self-knowledge, a journey of self-discovery. I'm flowing like a river. I'm going with the flow. Who am I? Isn't that a good question? Please accept my respect for listening to me with such love and interest. And as always, stay in love, even with love, even passion.